So we've tried simplifying with and without factorizing. Now we're going to have a little look at adding and subtracting fractions. Now, when we're adding and subtracting algebraic fractions, it's just the same as when we're adding and subtracting regular numerical fractions. We need to get a common denominator. And that's very often the part that students find trickiest, getting that common denominator. So for a common denominator here, I've got 5 and 8, so I'm looking for the lowest common multiple. Okay, I want to give myself the least amount of work to get a common denominator. Now here, the lowest common multiple of 5 and 8 is 40. Now, what have I done to the 5 to make it into 40? Well, I've had to times it by 8, so I have to times the top by 8. That'll get me 8x. What have I done to the 8 to get to 40? Well, I've had to times it by 5, so I have to times the top by 5. That'll get me 15x. Now I write it as one fraction, so I've got 8x plus 15x all over 14. Notice I don't try and do too much in one step. And then I put them together, 23x, and simplify those terms over 40. And always check to see if you can simplify your fraction. 23 and 40 doesn't simplify. So I get my common denominator. I multiply to ensure that they're equivalent fractions. So that was what have I done to the 5 to get to 40? Well, I've times by 8, so you times the top by 8. Okay, that's keeping your fractions equivalent. I add the numerators, so my 8x and 15x, and then you're always checking to see if you can simplify any fractions. One on the right-hand side. If you try it for yourself, then we'll see how we get on. Now, remember I said we want to give ourselves the least amount of work to make these look the same, and I'm only allowed to multiply or divide. Well, actually, I can multiply the denominator on the left by 3, and it will make it a 3x, and then it looks like the one on the right-hand side. So I've multiplied it by 3, so I've got to multiply the numerator by 3, so that becomes 15. And on the right-hand side, 3x has stayed the same. It's as if I've just times it by 1. So the top's going to stay the same. I write it as one fraction, 15 add 8 over 3x. And then I add the numerators together, and I'll get 23 over 3x. Right, so let's try a slightly trickier one. And these are quite common to come up. So I need to get my common denominator here. Now, the only way to get the common denominator here is to actually have them multiplying each other. So if you have x plus 3 times x minus 2, take away x plus 3 all over x minus 2. Now, on the left-hand side here, I've multiplied that x plus 3 with an x minus 2. So I've got to multiply the top by x minus 2. And on the right-hand side, I've multiplied that denominator of x minus 2 by x plus 3. So I have to multiply the top by x plus 3. So again, that x plus 3, I've multiplied it by x minus 2 on the bottom, so you've got to times it by x minus 2 on the top. And the same on the right-hand side. It started as x minus 2, I've times it by x plus 3, so I have to times it by x plus 3 on the top. Okay, whatever you do to the bottom of your fraction, you have to do to the top. I write it as one fraction, just like the ones I did before. And leave my denominator as x plus 3, x minus 2. Now I expand the bracket, so I'm going to get 2x minus 4. Now this is a negative 5, so it'll be take away 5x, negative 5 times 3, so it'll be take away 15, all over x plus 3, x minus 2. Now I'm running out of a bit of space, so I'm going to give myself a little bit more space. I can tidy up the top, so I'm going to have take away 3x, take away 19, all over x plus 3, x minus 2, and that's me fully simplified. Now you notice that I only expanded the bracket on the top. I didn't touch the bracket on the bottom. Now, I have to expand the bracket on the top because they're going to simplify. If you expand the bracket on the bottom, it's not going to help you simplify anything. However, if you expand the bracket on the bottom and you make a mistake, the SQA will take marks off for that. Okay? So leave the bracket on the bottom alone because you're not going to gain anything by expanding it. However, you do risk losing marks if you expand it and you make a silly mistake. So what I've done there, again, is I've got my common denominator. I've multiplied by brackets here, not just single terms, to make sure my fractions were equivalent. I've written it as one fraction. That is key. Okay, please don't skip that step out. So that's this step here, writing it as one fraction. Okay, a lot of times we see students try and skip that step and go straight from having it here to expanding it and trying to solve it. Okay, and that's when negatives get lost. And as soon as a negative gets lost, your answer changes and you're losing marks. Okay, so please write it as one fraction and take that extra step. And then always check to make sure that you're expanding your brackets and that you are simplifying those terms. So the 2x and the takeaway 5x. Right, so there's one on the right hand side for you to try. If you want to try it yourself, make sure you press pause, take as long as you need. I highly recommend that you are trying this, okay? And you'll get far more from this video if you are trying these questions than if you're just watching. So, denominator is going to be x minus 2, x plus 4. I should say, for your denominators, the brackets can be the other way around. So x plus 4, x minus 2 is the same as x minus 2, x plus 4. And second bracket will be x minus 2, x plus 4. So I've times the left by x plus 4, so I've got times the top by x plus 4. And on the right, I've times the bottom by x minus 2, so I've got times the top by x minus 2. So write it as one fraction. Really important step that you are not to miss out. All over x minus 2, x plus 4. Expand the top, so I'm going to get 3x plus 12 plus 2x minus 4 all over x minus 2, x plus 4. I'll give myself a little bit more room. Tidy up, so I'm going to get 3x plus 2x is 5x, 12 take away 4, and it's a plus 12 take away 4, so I'm going to have plus 8 over x minus 2, x plus 4. And that's it fully simplified. Now, some questions for you to practice. Okay, so 6 where kind of it's just the whole numbers on the bottom. Okay, make sure you're trying some from G to L, okay, because they're the trickier ones. And then always important that you are marking your answers.